Another week, another pull at the advanced gambling device that is YouTube. Actual video quality always seems to be like such an irrelevant factor, too. Pour a week of soul into an Oberdin video, 300 views. Throw together a cancelled Stellaris project after a week of mental breakdowns? Fuck it. You win. Jackpot. Give actually half-decent writing advice for fantasy? Sorry, no sevens for you. Try again. Make an April Fool's spoof of one of the worst videos in all of YouTube? You win, but you roll an additional video modifier. A lot of viewers are incapable of critical thinking. I should have just broken down and made 70 samey Star Sector videos for the rest of time. Here, I can even show you what that would be like real quick. Hey, soon-to-be Patreon subscribers, what's up? Welcome to my 7th video covering the upcoming Star Sector 69 update. You can see here in this patch note that they mentioned including new story missions. This is really exciting because I haven't gotten sick of doing the ones that are already in the game enough yet. And the writing is good, and you know, that's hard to do. So good job, devs. And come back next time for videos covering each and every one of the new ships and how to click the safety overrides button in the refit screen. And then after that, I'll make an hour-long conspiracy rant about why the fuck Alex hasn't included Nexarelin in the main code yet. Obviously, I'm playing the quality of that up for laughs, but it wouldn't really be better in actuality. With Star Sector specifically, there just isn't enough to cover in a video. And the stuff that is there really doesn't fit well with my format. I'm not like, pyrocynical. I'm not going to give you a recap of the story beat by beat. Enemy Unknown is the only game I can think of that I would have even a remote interest doing that with, and that's purely because I've played it a lot and I would want to cover it alongside other stuff, and not because the plot itself is actually good. But yeah, had I taken that path, my success on this platform would have been a lot more guaranteed. I didn't because I don't want to be attached and dragged down to one game for eternity. You see even big content creators like War Owl try to switch to variety after having covered CSGO for half a decade, and it would be so disheartening to be in that position, to see your videos get like 1/10 the views they could have if you just made like a shitty CS vid. Ultimately, I want people to subscribe for, well, me, and not because I play the video game that they like. It's pretty shit though, because essentially every video has to garner its own viewer base, and it can't just steal viewers from other projects. Starting the Hours In series has kind of fixed this problem for me, because boy does YouTube really like series. People seem to want to just sit and binge content similar to what they like. I can't really relate, I don't really do this, and videos with similar titles are advertising themselves as clearly alike. If my other videos had a clear series indicator, I can guarantee you that they would do better. But frankly, I just have no idea what I would call it. They're kind of just like, whatever the fuck. If you have recommendations, please tell me. It doubly doesn't help that I decide to be opinionated and not spout obvious bullshit like Fallout 76 is bad, upvotes to the right kind strangers. Sorry, upvotes to the left. Fuck. The Stellaris video got quite a bit of criticism, so much so that I ended up making a follow-up to address said criticisms, which is wholly new for me. I'll admit the original is more of a rant than a critique, but that's the result of the weekly upload schedule. And, hell, success and video quality don't tend to go together very often. Lots of people saw it, and so it's actually just objectively good that it was kind of a shit video with controversial takes. If I had made the video like 69 reasons Stellaris is amazing, and then listed off shit like the graphics are pretty and the mod community is big, then the video would have got overwhelming praise from people who can't think for themselves. Criticism just opens you up to hate from those who like what you're commenting on, which is inevitably who's going to see your shit if you're a small channel. If I really wanted to make bank, I'd go and, like, suck PUBG or Fortnite's dick for 10 minutes. Maybe I just will. That's the takeaway, I suppose. Be positive and humorous when you're small, and then you can actually have takes when you get bigger. Sorry, this is a bit short. Originally the script was me ranting about the people in the Stellaris video who totally missed the point, and then that eventually mutated off and grew and split into its own script and video. I haven't done something properly unscripted on this channel since that first video I made, and so I suppose I can right now with this as the centerpiece. What the fuck do I make another series about? Generally, when you go to another channel, you know what to expect. You go to ISP for Hoi 4, you go to Exerbia for Existential Dread, and you go to 3Clicks Philip for CS. Me? You just kind of go whatever the fuck I feel like that week. I feel like I haven't quite landed and found my footing. I need something else to stabilize onto. In my Discord that you should totally join, I made a video suggestions channel and then quickly realized that my lack of varied series will bite me. I've had people ask me to make videos on certain games, but because I don't really have experience with them, it doesn't really fit my format. Leon Massey is a fucking excellent channel who throws out a masterpiece every few months, and it's just like, whatever the fuck. So clearly, whatever the hell I feel like is a viable format, I just feel like there has to be some consistency to what I put out. I went through some of my subscribed channels to figure out, like, you know, who to steal ideas from, basically. And a channel that I truly wish that I was part of the Templin Institute. It is the most wonderfully autistic channel. And I mean, I am autistic, okay? I mean it. I love them. They cover typically sci-fi stuff in such extreme detail, and they make everything super analogous to real life, and they give a lot of examples, which obviously, if you have seen my stuff, I am a big fan of. And so I really appreciate their work, and I guess the writing for fantasy video is probably the closest I've ever gotten to making a video like theirs, but it's very different in that I'm not dissecting like a fictional thing that exists, like already in the world. I am giving advice on how to make one of those. So it's kind of two sides of the same coin, I suppose. But I don't think that it would ever truly be viable for me because, well, I don't think someone who clicks on why I have 200 hours in Stellaris is going to click on, like, how to write sci-fi, you know? As much as I would love to make videos covering different writing tropes, kind of like the Chekhov's gun video on this channel, I don't think that they would do well. But it would be really fun to make. I don't know. Next up on my bullet points is mod reviews, which is the two best examples I could think of that I would want to do is Long War, and that one would be hard. And maybe the Battle Brothers Legends mod, which has sort of similar scope in that it adds new mechanics and completely rebalances like literally everything in the game. And so covering something like that is obviously kind of daunting, although I feel like the Battle Brothers one is not anywhere near as daunting as Long War, which would be this whole thing, okay? Covering Long War, you gotta cover all the mission types, you gotta cover all the enemy types, you gotta cover fucking... The research tree has been completely remade, like, all the new weapon... like, there's 2 new weapon tiers. Like, entire new weapon tiers that they just added into the game. All the extra mechanics that they added on that are kind of like not really told to you, like that enemies have other drops, like enemies drop meld when you kill them. It just doesn't tell you any of that, and then you like lose that if you blow them up with explosives. It just doesn't tell you any of that. And I would have to go through all of that, and then I'd want to cover the plot too, and it would be a whole thing. If I was going to cover Long War, which I assume I will do someday, I would have to split it up into like 18 parts because I learned my lesson with the Payday series. I will never make another one of those videos ever again. I'm just not going to do that ever again. But if I split it up into like, you know, baseline, like base management, and then talking about the different mission types, talking about the different enemy types, talking about weapons, tactics, squad setups and stuff, I think it might be more manageable. I just think it would be insanely dry. But, I mean... the Stellaris videos did well, and those are pretty fucking dry. As for, you know, mod reviews as a sort of series, I don't really know what I would do apart from those two. And in the format that I already sort of have, I have covered mods in the past. In the Rome Total War script that never ended up getting finished, I, like, literally covered, whatever the fuck, put it on screen, me in the future, like, whatever the hell the big-ass, overhaul mod is that was pretty terrible. And then I wrote a big part of the script with me ranting about how it completely missed the point, and that was going to like lead into me talking about the game itself. And so I already do talk about mods. They're just not like, you know, the full focus of the video. So I suppose switching to it being the full point of the video would not really be that hard, but I don't know what I would call it. It has to be alliterated. It has to be alliterated. I can't think of an alliterated title, and I've been sitting here for like 3 minutes, so I'm going to go on to my next bullet point. World character deep dives. Okay, so back about a year ago, I made that Mordekaiser video where I covered his like character, and I talked about his lore, his like gameplay, and how to play him in like, you know, actually in the game. I think more videos like that would be fun. I would like to cover someone like Azir, maybe like an Azir Mordekaiser, I think would be really fun character dichotomy to talk about. And obviously, I am biased because they're the only two characters that I play. But, well, that's a lie. I only play Azir now. Regardless, talking about how they're both two emperors of two distinctly different worlds who can sort of like summon things at will, and then making parallels between their characters would, I think, be a lot of fun. I don't think they really have a lot to talk about gameplay-wise, though. I think I've pretty much covered that. And I don't play that much League anymore, so I'm not sure if I'd even have the Mordekaiser footage that I would need. I haven't played him in a long fucking time. Another one that I wanted to do, and I kind of ended up doing this in the Republic Commando video, but I didn't, like, full hard commit. Originally, the Republic Commando video was not even supposed to be about Republic Commando. It was going to be about... the original title for that video was "The Clones Are the Best Part of Star Wars," and I think I still want to make that video, because I think it's true. I think... And okay, this is probably going to be super ranty, and this is also probably going to cover basically all the points in this potential video, so I guess you can think of this as like a sneak peek of what's to come. George Lucas stumbled across, like, completely accidentally, like, the best plot device ever, and then he didn't use it, because he wanted to focus on Hayden Christensen and his amazing fucking relationship instead. And I'm saying this from experience. I watched Attack of the Clones: Revenge of the Sith again for last night, so it's quite fresh in my mind. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here, and I'm sure that future me is really going to hate me for this, but Attack of the Clones is so much of a worse movie than Revenge of the Sith. It's honestly amazing. In fact, no, I'm going to rephrase this. Revenge of the Sith is so much better than the other two prequel movies that it feels like it was directed by an entirely different person in a different universe. Hayden's performance is still kind of... but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as it was in Attack of the Clones, and, like, things happen, and, like, there's a conclusion, and it doesn't just end out of nowhere. And, I mean, Revenge of the Sith also has the best scene in all of media. I think Order 66 is probably my favorite scene ever in anything. Anyway, yes, to get back to my point, George Lucas, he made the clones as a plot device to basically, it served two purposes. It was to give fan service to people who really like Boba Fett and wanted to see, like, the Mandalorians expanded on. And B, it served as a plot device to explain why the fuck Obi-Wan is able to escape, like, the big arena. Presumably because George Lucas said, I want, like, the main cast to get captured. Oh wait, it makes no fucking sense that they could ever possibly, like, leave. I'm just going to write an army into the story, and it's just going to arrive perfectly in time. And I don't look. It's not. I'm not gonna act like Attack of the Clones is written well, because it really is not. Thanks to Legends Media, the clones are really great, but in the actual films, boy, they sure were not. So George stumbles across this plot device in an effort to basically, like, plug a hole in his story, and because he was so focused on Attack of the Clones, and I guess the prequel trilogy in general, being focused around Anakin, he didn't realize just how good of a plot device the clones were. Like, I touched on this in the Republic Commando video, and I'm sure you'll be able to see remnants of this, like, you know, thrown away script in that video. That having an army of identical individuals who are each, you know, different from each other is such an interesting idea, and he wanted to focus on the fucking laser swords instead. Oh my god. Ugh. I can genuinely feel my blood boil as I speak about this, because it makes me so genuinely irritated that it was so close, dude. People say Cody's name like 3 times in Revenge of the Sith. He had a name. He was a character. And they didn't make any other clones into characters. And so I'd love to make this potential video about this topic and go really into detail about how it's a missed opportunity that they weren't included in the films, how, like, the numbers don't make any fucking sense. Like, 1.5 billion clones apparently fought 50 trillion droids, which means that every clone needed to be For the Republic to win, every single clone in the Republic military needed to be as effective as 33,000 droids. 33,000! That is so insanely... There's no fucking way that they could ever get away with that kind of scale. And so it just doesn't make any fucking sense, and like the fact that Phase 2 armor just pops into existence after it, like in between movies, doesn't make any fucking sense either. Apparently I had a lot more to talk about on this topic than I realized, Jesus. But I mean, I guess I do run a tabletop RPG game set in the Star Wars universe adjacent, and it's also focused about clones, so I guess it would make sense that I have quite a bit to talk about. Anyway, so if I was going to make that into a consistent thing, which I would really like to do, I think that type of video made into a consistent series would be a lot of fun, but I have no clue what I would call it. I mean, it could literally be like Character Deep Dive, could be the fucking series name, like you just focus in on Sev or whatever. But I'm not sure if there are characters which have enough depth for like a 10-minute video without me completely boring everyone to tears. So I might have to make it more general, like talking about the clones in general would be its own video, you know, like it would have to be broad. So I don't really know what I would call it. Anyway, the last point I had, this is super fucking ranty. No wonder this is why I edit myself, okay? I've been recording this shit for 20 minutes. This is probably gonna come down to like less than 10 minutes in length. I just talk about bullshit all day. This is why I script myself. I was thinking about doing another like desync style video, which is the reason that my channel exists. The Titanfall video that originally blew up back in 2020 or so was like a desync format video ripoff kind of thing, and it was also really bad. Please don't watch it. But I could make another one of those. I just don't really know what I would make it about. And making something like that is kind of scary for me now, because the way that I make my videos is I like write a script and then I go record shit and then I see if that changes anything that I wrote in the script and then make the video. Whereas with this, I would have to play whatever game it is and then like full record, just completely guess what footage I need and then like make a jokey video about it, which is just the complete opposite of how my workflow works. And I don't know if I could make that into a series. I have suspicions I could not. I was thinking about doing a one-off joke video that was sort of meant to parody those like, oh, can I beat Fallout 4 using only melee weapons, like style videos, and have it be some stupid shit like, can I play Skyrim by playing as optimally as possible, and then just like completely riffing on all of those videos. And I think I could quite easily make like 3 or 4 of those, and it would still be funny, because, you know, do one per Bethesda game, play like Fallout 4 with cheats enabled, play fucking New Vegas with like 1,000 times sprint mod or like speed mod, and then I don't know, Skyrim with cheats actually would be pretty funny, I think, because there's so much shit in that game that I just do not want to do ever. And so you'd be able to do so many jokes that are like, yeah, so we need to go into Blackreach now. I'm just not going to do it, though, because I just don't feel like it. I would want to have it be like a speed run, too. Like, I would have the timer throughout the whole video, but there would still be cuts and stuff, and it wouldn't change the timer. So it would just be this like super edited video, and that at the end of production I would just throw up this timer in the corner and act like it was real. Okay, yeah, I might make those. That sounds pretty funny.